friends, it's Nancy. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to try something completely different. I want to make a recipe journal for myself, and I'm going to use this 5-ring binder that I stole from work. And I have volume 1 and volume 2. So I'm gonna attempt to do 2 at the same time. Not necessarily. Are these the same size? Yeah, they're the same size. I'm gonna do one for myself and one for my Etsy shop, I think. Since I'm making a mess, I might as well make a big mess. So I want to do, grab my boxes here. I've got a couple things saved. Gotta move my tea. So this box I've got labeled Retro Domestic Goddess, and it has this cross-stitched tablecloth. It's got these napkins that have pies and cakes. I think this is part of an old curtain. It has teacups, and I like this. This might be the one I use on my journal, because I'm going to cover the binders in fabric. What else is in here? There's some magazine pages. This is kind of a snarky, lady, whatever. There's some cookbook, almanac, recipe pages. Lots of rickrack in here. Some vintage fabrics. And it looks like lots of little bits and pieces that I've cut from magazines and turned into little tags or cards or whatever. So this was the Retro Domestic Goddess. And then I have an entirely other box that I've been saving that is just aprons, apron themed. So I have the apron book. I actually have 2 of these. One I've already cut up into pieces. And I have 2 aprons that I thought I might use the fabric. Oh, this is a quilted cover I made, and the inside was fabric from apron, and these are the pockets from the apron, and these are the ties from the apron. So I might have to do a bonus apron themed journal since I've got it out. And I've also got this apron. Little embroidery there. She's got her apron on. This is from an apron. I don't think this is big enough for me to do anything with. And then there's little images of people wearing aprons. Sewing patterns, what have you. So, and here's the leftover pages from the apron book. I love that. So I've got a lot of stuff to work with, but before we can cover anything, we need to fix these. So any fabric I put on here is going to, the color's going to show through. So I'm going to paint these first. Let's get rid of these. With gesso. Let's start with the outside. Give this a good shake. I've had it for a little while. Also got my teacup here. I should have a slurp. I was gonna go out and get my nails done this afternoon. I got done work a little early because I've put in some extra hours over the last few days. And oh well, I'll go get some groceries and get my nails done. So I went and got groceries first, and then I pulled in to drop the groceries off, and it was garbage day. So the recycle bins and the garbage cans were in the driveway because the snow hills are so high. We can't put them on the in front of the house. So the bins and the garbage can was in the driveway, so I had to stop the car, drag everything out, pull the car in, then bring my groceries in. And it's cold. The temperature is minus 15 Celsius. But I checked and the wind chill is minus 25. And by the time I got the groceries put away, I couldn't bear the idea of going back out. So here I am. It's for Friday. Am I going to make a mess if I turn this? Looking forward to a cozy weekend. It's also, well, yesterday was Doug's birthday. Doug and I are a week apart. And the kids want to take us out for dinner. Well, they wanted to take us out last weekend, but we had quite a bit of snow. In fact, Monday schools were closed. Our office was closed. Snow up to the hoo-ha. And so we canceled because they live about half an hour from us. And it's just not worth the risk of driving. I think I've said this before. When I was young, I didn't care. I figured I'd get there alive. Just go slow. But now, I don't trust the other people on the road. And there was, over the weekend, there was a young lady died coming off the expressway. The way that the snow was plowed brought it up high enough that it sort of created a bank that the car slid up and over and landed down on the expressway. Am I explaining this right? It's a ramp, and the snow wasn't correctly, and that's my position, wasn't correctly plowed. Anyway, she was the second car that went over that ramp on that day, so they knew that there was a problem. Thankfully, the first person that went over lived to tell about it, but so I hope that the family gets adequate compensation for their loss, and that changes things. Now, when I was on the expressway myself yesterday, they had trucks out in force, clearing the snow off of the sides of the expressway. All right, I'm going to paint the other one. I'll be back. So I painted the binder around the edges with gesso. And I've cut 2 pieces of folder that I'm going to use to do the inside pages. You can see this has got a round corner, I think, if it's on camera. I think it's on camera, yep. So I am going to use my corner rounder to round those corners. And I can move this and get some fabric here. Oh. Let's take a look at the other side here. Okay. So let's grab a rotary cutter. Now, I've watched a couple of videos of other people making covered binders. I can't say that any of them really impressed me much. So I might be watching the wrong videos, but here we go. We're going to do it anyway. And the reason why is because if you've been watching me long enough, you know I'm kind of a little anal retentive. I have some constipated creativity, to say the least. I like things an extraordinary level of tidy, and struggle with that sometimes. I try to say I don't care. Got caught out the other day. I said I cut something a little off, and I said, oh, it slipped, I don't care, and then I went back and fixed it anyway. So all right. Now the thing with this is some of the images are facing up and some are facing down. So these pictures are facing down, these are facing up. So I think I will focus on trying to keep them upright. The other issue being that I sort of want the squares to, yeah, see this one? They're up and that one's down. The squares aren't going to match up quite right. But I'm going to have to live with it because I don't have a lot of this fabric. It was one curtain that I bought somewhere. So I'm just using plain old glue here. That looks pretty. I like that. That really brightens that right up. Just making sure there's no printing anywhere. So these pages are almost square. 9 7/8 by, I don't know, I can't remember now. But darn near 10 by 10. Let's make sure I did this right. So that's round. That's round. Nope, didn't do it right. Let's try again, girl. All right. Little dry, and I want to bring it over just a smidge. Beautiful. Trim a bit off. Now, in order to turn these corners, I'm going to cut away some of the extra, and then I have a feeling that you could recover just about any binder if you take your time. And I kind of even got some little binders that have little like 4x6 pieces of notebook paper in it. I feel like I could cover those, just, you know, if I take my time and consider how the construction all comes together. This one, because it's a square, I'm just cutting it. I don't have to ease the fabric around that around the round. So I hope you've had a great week. You're excited about Friday. Maybe have some big plans this weekend. I had started to say we're going out for dinner tomorrow. After I whined and moaned about the weather for a bit there, the bottom line is we're going out for dinner tomorrow because our plans for last Sunday got canceled because of weather. Ta-da! I'm reading a really interesting book right now called, I think it's called The Shanghai Girls. And it's about these two sisters who grow up in Shanghai, and then just before World War II, when the Japanese invade China, they immigrate. Well, it's more like a forced immigration, actually. There was arranged marriages and et cetera, et cetera. And they come to Los Angeles. So I'm just about done the book. It's very interesting. It's not a new one. I picked it up at the thrift store the other day. But it had the Heather's pick, you know, from Chapters Indigo. If you're Canadian, you know what I'm talking about. If you go to the Chapters Indigo bookstore, there's books that are labeled with a sticker Heather's pick. So ones that, I don't know, she's the CEO or something, I don't know, that she chooses as ones that she particularly likes. And I always like Heather's picks. Always. I can't think of a bad pick I've had from Heather. Okay. So you see the nice treatment there on that corner. Looks good, girl. All right, let's do the other one. Or maybe I'll do this one and pop back. All right. Let's see if this is going to work. I've got some PVA glue. And this is just a plain piece of fabric. I'm going to glue this underneath the mechanism and then shove it under there. And then when I fold the flaps over, the ends will be covered. Then when I put the inside cover on, this raw edge will be covered. Let's see if we can get the PVA to move. It's not feeling good. So I want to get a very thin coating here because I don't want it to come up through the fabric, but it's really difficult to tell. especially right here. Okay, let's give it a shot. Let's try. Oh, Doug's home. He's singing. Hang on. I tried to holler up at him and tell him not to sing, but I don't think he heard me. So we'll just carry on. First one went down pretty darn good. Anyway. Oh, I hear him moving around. Hang on. There, I let him know. He doesn't care, but I did my due diligence. All right. Let's get this one under there. I tried to flip this over so I had more of an edge. Okay. I'm gonna let those things dry. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that this is how the inside covers will go. And they're gonna cover up the raw edge of that fabric. Okay, flipping it over. Oh, hang on a second. A man's gonna be the death of me. Okay, so I'm gonna flip it over, and I'm gonna start with the spine. Come on, you. Again, I want to make sure it's just very thin layer. Whoop. And I want to put a little in the crease. Now we're going to endeavor to get this on as straight as possible. Okay, so this has been ironed within an inch of its life. I'm going to try to get it on there straightish. Okay, just want to press that fabric into that crease. Turn it over. Oh, look at that. I just ironed that. So I think you know what I'm going to do next. Just let that dry, and then I'm going to use PVA to glue this down. I'm trying to decide how upset I am that this isn't centered. It's coming off. Yeah, that's better. Ooh. I think it needs a little more glue. Oh, Nancy. There was a little glue lump there. Okay, I'm gonna let that spine dry before I move on to anything else. Okay, so I've decided I'm out of PVA. And I'm using, this is Aleene's Turbo Tacky Glue. And again, I want a very thin coat, evenly distributed, no lines. Okay, and it's not going to stay damp, so I'll get half of it down. And start spreading the rest. And once I get this down, we'll pause again. And yeah, it's gonna take some time, but I think I'll be happier with the outcome than if I try to rush through. Okay, I've already done the other side. So after this dries for a bit, then we will open this up and start gluing the inside of flaps in like so. Noticing a little wrinkle here. Just try to rub that out. Almost looks like there's a string or something. There is a string. Aha! Okay, hopefully that's not going to... Well, now look. I've scraped some paint off. Okay. I shall return. Okay, I did some trimming. So I did a little cut here, not right up to the binder, but just a little bit. Cut off some of the bulk here. This flap is going to fit underneath that metal part. So I'm just sticking a little glue there. And a little glue there. Okay. Get up there. I'll make sure it's pulled up as tight as possible. I'll stick a little clippy there. Looks good, looks good. Now, on this corner, I've done some little gussets. I'm just spreading that out thin. Okay. I'm going to add a little more glue underneath. And then Looks good. Let's do some clippies down here. Not real concerned about how messy this lump looks, as long as it's flat. Okay, let's turn this puppy around. I'm going to take those clips off because I don't want them to mark material, and I think that's good. Now, so I'm just doing a partial clip. Not right to the binder, and then taking a little bit of the bulk out. And then a little bit on here. Okay. Get in there, you. There we go. Now it's settling in there. Just press it with the end of my tweezers. Beautiful. Okay. Let's get a little more glue on there. Just need to move things a bit. So it looks a little wiggly, but it's all going to be underneath the inside cover. Right? Just gonna add a little more glue. Okay. All right, one more corner. Get down. Oh yeah, good. That looks good. This turbo stuff is doing the job. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Again, I'm going to give it a few minutes to dry. And then I will glue these puppies in place. But I just want to give the fabric underneath a chance to fully dry. Okay. I think we can put this one on now. So I'm just doing a really thick coat of glue stick. And then I'm doing a very, very neat coat of fabric fusion. So I want full coverage, but not too close to the edge that it'll be squirting out. Might be off camera, I don't know. Just put a little under where that fabric has got up. Okay. Just temporarily putting a few clips on. Just till it gets the whole idea of sticking. Okay, that's stuck. Let's get a few more on here. Look at my hands. Okay, let's move this along. I don't want to leave it on so long that it leaves a mark, but just enough, just a few seconds to allow that glue to soak in there. Okay. It's looking good. Also good. Amazing. Let's put you on there for a sec. Okay. So there's the binder. I'll be doing the second binder exactly the same way. I don't know how much further I can go out. Can you see the whole thing? Yeah. I'm happy with that. There's a couple spots I'll have to go over with a wet wipe, take some of the glue off when everything's set up. I don't want to mess with so I think these are the pages that came out of this book. They can definitely be longer, can't they? They could probably go another 1.5 inches. How wide is this? 6 3/4. I bet we could go a solid 8. I mean, I could try 8.5. Shall we get an 8.5 sheet of paper? See what happens. guess we'll have to go with this. Pencil. Ugh, I have definitely got glue up under my nails. Okay. Now. We're just trying this out. This isn't going to be anything but a template. And then put it like this. Yeah, it hangs out about an inch. I'm gonna take an inch off, see what happens. So now we're at 7.5. Again, I might want to do something different. Don't know. Okay. I don't think you can see that, but it is free of the edge. So I can do 7.5. How wide were these? They were 7.25. Okay. Okay. So, come back again. I will have covered both binders and made some decisions about the direction I'm heading next. And then I'd like to make some pages. I'm going to be, I have a bound notebook that has handwritten recipes in it, but I think I've been collecting them for 30 years or more than, and some of them you can barely read because they're so sloppy. So I'm going to start copying some of those recipes onto individual pages, maybe including some memories, some tips, some stories about, when a certain thing was served or whose favorite it is. And for the other binder, I think I will make like these tab dividers for the other binder, but I won't be making any pages for that binder. Anyway, I have an absolute ton of these binders because we don't use books anymore. In research, everything's online, so there's no need to have these outdated books around. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you think this was something fun and interesting and that you'd like to give it a try yourself. Go have a look at your thrift store, see if you can find a gorgeous hunk of vintage fabric like this, or an old apron or tablecloth. Take care of yourself. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.